Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? Welcome back to Mahdi English School. Myself, Khushbu Dharani, and I'm taking your English and grammar. So, my dear students, I hope you all are fine at home. Today, we will learn English. Till today, in English, we learn chapter 1, that is Flying South. Poem 2, A Bird on the Shore, and Chapter 3, A Day in the Jungle. These all three we have completed explanation and fair book notes. So from today we will start textual grammar from English textbook, which is given afterwards of your lesson in English textbook. So let's start with lesson number 1, Flying South, all textual grammar. So before starting our today's topic, let me tell you one quote. The thought is, the roots of education are bitter. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. But the fruit is sweet. Written by Aristotle. Aristotle is a philosopher and he has written this quote. The roots of education are bitter. Means when you are taking education, when you are sitting for the study, it may be didn't like you. It may be little bit tough for you to sit for the study. But the fruit is sweet. Means whenever you will become something, you will become a doctor, you will become a teacher, then you will get a success. So that is the fruit of education. Because of education you become something, right? Because of education you can be a doctor, you can be engineer, you can be a teacher. So when you are doing a study, that's a hard work. But when you become something, that's a sweet fruit. Okay, so let's move to our today's topic, that is collective nouns. What is the topic? Collective nouns. Now let's see what is collective nouns. Collective nouns, a group of people or things, is considered singular when acting as a unit unless the meaning is clearly plural. What is collective nouns? Collective, a group of people or things, is considered singular when acting as a unit unless the meaning is clearly plural. Means, in short, if I am telling you what is a collective nouns means a noun, a name of some group. Let me show you briefly. A collective noun refers to a group of people or things and is singular. What is collective noun? A collective noun refers to a group of people or things and is singular. For example, crowd, audience, staff. Can you think of any more collective nouns? Let me see you again. A collective noun refers to a group of people or things and is singular. Means name of some group. That is called collective nouns. Crowd means a group of people. Audience means a group of people who is sitting in a theater or somewhere for watching play or movie. Then staff. Staff means a group of person. So can you think of any more collective nouns? So let me show you. A collective noun is a singular noun which represents a group of people or things. A collective noun is a singular noun which represents a group of people or things. If you are referring to the group as one unit, it is singular. If you are referring to the group as a one unit, it is a singular. For example, the class, the Bahamas. The Philippines is a great travel destination. This is the example. Let me show you some strange collective nouns. Some strange collective nouns. A god. So, what is the called? A group of a god? That is called a tribe. A tribe of gods. A group of gods is called a tribe of gods. Then a kitten. A kitten means a group of kitten is called a kindle. What it is called? Kindle. Kindle. A kindle of kittens means a group of kittens. Then a jellyfish. A group of jellyfish is called smuck. Smuck. A group of jellyfish is called smuck. A smuck of jellyfish. Then people in a church. What it is called? People in a church. A group of a people who is present in the church is called a congregation of worshippers. A congregation of worshippers. Then a crow. A crow. Group of crow is called a murder of crows. A crow, group of crow is called a murder of crows. Then a porpoise. A porpoise. A group of porpoise is called a school of porpoise. A group of porpoise is called a school of porpoise. Then an ape. An ape. A group of ape is called an intelligence of apes. A group of ape is called an intelligence of apes. So, these are some strange collective nouns. Now let me show you some more nouns. Some more collective nouns. A wolf. A wolf. A group of wolf is called a pack of wolves. A group of wolf is called a pack of wolves. A whale. A whale. So, a group of whale is called a pod of whales. A pod of whales. Then a bee. A bee. So, a group of bee is called a swarm of bees. A swarm of bees. Then a puppy. A puppy. A group of puppy is called a litter of pups. Group of puppy is called a litter of pups. Then singer. A singer. Group of singer is called a choir of singers. A singer. Group of singers is called a choir of singers. Then a playing card. Playing card. The group of card is called a pack of playing cards. A pack of playing cards. Then a brass instrumentalist. You can see here a picture. A brass instrumentalist. So what it is called? It is called a band of brass players. A band of brass players. So these are the example of some more collective nouns. Now let's move. This is the picture of a textbook. Of your grammar textbook, which is given after lesson number 1. This grammar topic. Let's see textbook wise. The other geese in the flock will take him in. The other geese in the flock will take him in. The word flock is used to talk about a group of birds. So flock is a collective noun. Flock is a collective noun. So what is a collective noun? A collective noun is the name of a group of people, animals, or things. What is a collective noun? A collective noun is the name of a group of people, animals, or things. Read these examples. A band of musicians, a clutter of cats, a litter of puppies, a fleet of ships. Let's read this again. A band of musicians, a clutter of cats, a litter of puppies, a fleet of ships. Now, let's solve the exercise which is given in your textbook. See here. A dash of bees. You can see here the picture. So, what is the answer? Swarm. What is the answer? Swarm. A swarm of bees. Number 2, a dash of dancers. You can see the picture. Dancers. A dash of dancers. So what is the answer? Troop. A troop of dancers. A dash of flowers. A dash of flowers. So what is the answer? Bunch. You can see here. Bunch. And dash of ants. And dash of ants. What is the answer? Army. Army of ants. You can see here all the ants are going in line. Right. So, this was the topic of collective nouns. Now, let's move to the next topic. See, next is exercise of collective nouns. A dash of lions was lazing around near the cave. You have to find the answer. So the answer is pride. A pride of lions was lazing around near the cave. Number 2, we saluted the dash of soldiers as they marched along. We saluted the dash of soldiers as they marched along. The answer is army. Answer is army. Number 3, looking out at the sea, we noticed a dash of dolphins leaping out of the water. Looking out at the sea, we noticed a dash of dolphins leaping out of the water. So what is the answer? Answer is pod. Answer is pod. Number 4, a dash of stairs led to the top of the tower. A dash of stairs led to the top of the tower. The answer is flight. The answer is flight. Number 5, all night we could hear the dash of wolves howling. All night we could hear the dash of wolves howling. The answer is pack. The answer is pack. Number 6, each of us picked a dash of grapes from the bowl. Each of us picked a dash of grapes from the bowl. The answer is bunch. The answer is bunch. So, we have completed 2 exercises of collective nouns which is given in your textbook. Let's move to the next topic, that is prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes and suffixes, this is also given in your English textbook after completing of lesson 1 in a grammar section. Okay, let's see what is suffixes and prefixes. It's helpful to have a good understanding of what prefixes and suffixes are. It's helpful to have a good understanding of what prefixes and suffixes are. Knowing their meanings and when they are generally used can help you figure out unknown words and can also help you make your writing better. How prefixes and suffixes help you? Knowing their meanings and then they are generally used can help you figure out unknown words and can also help you make your writing better. So let's see what is prefixes. Prefixes are added to the beginning of a based word. Prefixes are added to the beginning of a base word. They change the meaning of the base word. They change the meaning of the base word. You can see here, happy. Happy is the base word. So, this is the prefix. So, what we get? Unhappy. Happy, unhappy. We use the prefix. So, we get opposite of the happy. That is unhappy. Do. So, re is the prefix. Re plus do is equal redo. Re plus do is equal redo. Now, see here some more prefixes in English. How can you use that? Anti. A-N-T-I. Anti. Anti means against. What is the meaning of anti? Anti means against. So, let's see. All the different types of prefixes I have written in a different colors. So, you can identify it easily. Anti means against. Antisocial. Antisocial. Anti-gravity. Anti-gravity. Antibiotic. Antibiotic. Antidepressant. Antidepressant. Antifreeze. Antifreeze. So here you have seen how we can use anti and the meaning of anti. What is the meaning of anti? Anti means against. Now dis. Dis means opposite of something. When you can use dis? When you are opposite of something. See here. Dislike. Dislike. Dishonest. Dishonest. Distant. Distant. Disagree. Disagree. Then disappear. Disappear. So here you have learned how to use of dis means opposite of something. Then in. In means not. How can we use in the prefixes? In means not. See here. Incorrect means that is not correct thing. Incorrect. Inaccurate. Inaccurate. Inadequate. Inadequate. Inability. Inability. Incomplete. Incomplete. So, in means not. For example, incomplete means not complete, right? Then co. Co means with. To cooperate something. To be with something. Co-worker. Co-worker. Co-pilot. Co-pilot. Cooperation. Cooperation. Coexist. Coexist. Cosine. Cosine. Right. Now, next is extra. Extra means more than. Extra means more than. Extracurricular. Extracurricular. Then, extraordinary. Extraordinary. Extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial. Then 4. 4 means before. 4 means before. So let's see. Forecast. Forecast. Forehead. Forehead. For is. For is. Forward. Forward. And foremost. Foremost. Now miss. Miss means wrongly. When you have done something wrongly. Miss. Misinterpret. Misinterpret. Misfire. Misfire. Mistake. Mistake. Misunderstand. Misunderstand. Misconduct. Misconduct. Then mono. Mono means singular. Mono means singular. monotone, monotone, monobrow, monobrow, monolithic, monolithic, monopoly, monopoly. Right? So all these are prefixes in English which you can use. So here we have learned all the prefixes with its meaning. See, all the meanings I have written in brackets so you can understood it easily. Okay, let's move to the next slide. That is the picture which is given in your English textbook. A prefix is a letter or group of letters that is added to the beginning of a word or form to form a new word with a different meaning. What is the prefix? A prefix is a letter or a group of letters that is added to the beginning of a word to form a new word with a different meaning. As I already explained you, so this is the picture image of your textbook. Study this table. Prefix, word and a new word which we get after adding a prefix. Unlike, unlike. Disrespect, disrespect. Misunderstand, misunderstand. Right? Let's solve the exercise. Choose a prefix from the box and add it to the beginning of the correct word. One has been done for you. This exercise is also given in your English textbook. Let's solve. Dash way, midway. Dash way, midway. Dash plug, unplug. Dash plug, unplug. Dash water, underwater. Dash water, underwater. Dash did, misdid. Dash did, misdid. Dash cycle, recycle. Dash cycle, recycle. Dash sense, nonsense. Dash sense, nonsense. So, this is the exercise of prefixes. Now let's see what is suffixes. A suffix is added to the end of a word root or combining form to modify its meaning. A suffix is added to the end of a word root or combining form to modify its meaning. By adding a suffix to the end of a word root, we create a noun or adjective with different meaning. By adding a suffix to the end of a word root, we create a noun or adjective with a different meaning. Let's see. Suffixes in English. Suffixes means after a word you have to add a new word. So like we have learned in prefixes, same way I will give you examples of suffixes with their meanings. Sign or shun, state of being, means presence of something. Position, position. Promotion, promotion. Cohesion, cohesion. Affection, affection. Ambition, ambition. So this is the word which we add after a word, means suffix. SION or TION. So what is the meaning of shun? That is state of being, means position of something. Now next word is at. ATE, at. Means to become something. To become something. Mediate, mediate. Collaborate, collaborate. Create, create. Eradicate, eradicate. Detonate, detonate. Now full. When you add a word full after some word, so what is the meaning? Means notable for. Notable for something. Handful, handful. Playful, playful. Hopeful, hopeful. Skillful, skillful. Thankful, thankful. Then adding IC or ICEL means having the form. What is the meaning? Having the form. psychological, psychological, hypocritical, hypocritical, methodical, methodical, nonsensical, nonsensical, and musical, musical. Then adding IVE, having the nature of, having the nature of something. Inquisitive, inquisitive, informative, informative, attentive, attentive, abortive, abortive, active, active. Then less, less means without, without of something. Meaningless, meaningless, hopeless, hopeless, homeless, homeless, mindless, mindless, spotless, spotless. Then adding ly after some word means related to or a quality. What this word shows? It shows related to or a quality of something. That is softly, softly, slowly, slowly, happily, happily, crazily, crazily, madly, madly. Then ward or wards means direction. What is the meaning of it? Direction. Towards, towards, afterwards, afterwards, backwards, backwards, inward, inward, outwards, outwards. So these are the example or the words which you can use to make a suffixes, right? So let's see textual exercise, textual wise explanation. Read this word from the story, costly. When the group of letters ly is added to the word cost, the meaning of the word changes from price of something to expensive. So ly is a suffix, means when it is the only a root word, base word, cost, the meaning of that is price of something. And when we add ly of that, costly, the meaning is expensive. So, a suffix is a letter or a group of letters that is added to a word to form a new word with a different meaning. What is suffix? A suffix is a letter or a group of letters that is added to a word to form a new word with a different meaning. Study the table. Word, suffix and a new word. Comfort, able, comfortable. Thank, full, thankful. Fear, less, fearless. Now, let's see exercise. So, take the correct suffix for each word, then write the new word. One has been done for you. Two suffixes are given here. You have to take the correct one. Joy, full, joyful. Laughter, laughter. Slowly, slowly. Kingdom, kingdom. Childish, childish. Helpless, helpless. So, this is the exercise of suffixes which is given in your English textbook. So, I hope, my dear students, you enjoyed our today's session, and if you don't understand anything, feel free to message me in my WhatsApp number so I can solve your doubts and queries. Now, we will meet in our next lecture. So, till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.